Good morning and welcome to Smell the Coffee on Thursday, the 15th of June with Glenora Shupura and Ashwin Mberi. Excited to be breaking down the news with you. How are you?
Yes, I am. I haven't seen you in a minute on Smell the Coffee. We've not been smelling the coffee together.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Just Africa, good morning.
It's good to have you.
It's good to be here, even though it's cold.
Yes, it's
very cold. Not in studio, thank goodness. But out there, it's very, very cold. The Namibian even reporting this morning that we should brace ourselves for a cold winter. I was like, what's this? If we're bracing ourselves for a cold winter. And speaking of bracing ourselves, Glenora is here with a hot water bottle, and this is the kind of commitment I respect.
Yes, exactly. I didn't tell you I'm the representative who is being sent out to negotiate. I actually have a coat that's over there. Yeah. I do want to put it on for the screen, but after this I'm going to put it on.
You're going to put it on?
So I am like extra prepared, and I am the representative that's being sent to negotiate with winter.
With winter? No, you're fighting. No, this is true work of a fighter.
I'm going there and I'm like, can we have a less cold winter?
Less cold. We certainly hope that you will. But you know, if there's one group of people that will be happy to know that you've got your hot water bottle and your little blanket, is your grandma.
Yeah, she will. I'm very proud. I was raised by grandmothers, so I'm very proud. And I'm sure they are very, very proud.
Yes. Now, speaking of family, things get a little bit twisted when we get into our news stories. A man faked his own death to teach his family a lesson. We'll be getting into that and other stories after this short break. All right, let's get into our news stories. As I just highlighted, a TikTok influencer faked his own death before turning up at his funeral in an attempt to teach his family a lesson about staying in touch. David Batten from Belgium even told his wife and children about the prank so they could help him pull it off. One of his daughters went the whole way, posting on social media, "Rest in peace, Daddy. Why is life so unfair? Why you? I love you. Will never forget you." Mr. Batten, who has over 150,000 followers online, has been criticized by some of his followers who argued the prank went too far. But the influencer maintained that he needed to teach his wider family a lesson after they fell out of touch with him. "What I see in my family often hurts me," he said. "I never get invited to anything. Nobody sees me. We all grew apart. I felt unappreciated. That's why I wanted to give them a life lesson and show them that you shouldn't wait until someone is dead to meet up with them."
Oh.
Wow.
Okay, let's break that down. The daughter for me.
The daughter was committed? That's fair and fine. Well, I mean, I believe in the Christian Bible, it says, honor your father and mother. She was like, that's what fathers do.
Life is unfair. Life is unfair. What?
That is insane. I mean, wow. First of all, I think because you have the capacity to pull off a prank like this, it might be the reason you're not invited to anything. Maybe that's something worth considering.
That's
Maybe
also
the
what
family
I thought. That's also what I thought.
Because that's traumatizing.
That is. How do you do that to people? We show up to your funeral. Maybe we also contributed something. We did things. And then you're telling us, yeah, you guys don't invite me to events.
Seriously. And you know, I should tell all my friends out there, I've got a one funeral per person policy. One funeral per person. I'm not attending 2 funerals for the same person. And it's so traumatic. Now, think about this in the African context.
Yes.
Because it would, over here, he shows up in a helicopter and then, you know, they're emotional and they hug him and they see him. I don't believe that would be how it goes down if it was an African community. First of all, we must clear the witchcraft charges. Let's understand this is not a ghost because we are first going to react to death. Before you even tell us it's a joke.
Run. The moment I see you, I will run. Actually, if you tell me I'm going to your funeral, and then I get there, and then you are popping from a helicopter.
No,
I'm running.
there's real questions.
Somebody must come explain to me what happened, but not there.
Not there, exactly, yeah. No, very interesting. I think perhaps people like this could benefit from just communicating with family, you know what I mean? You could have sat them down, or you could have just told them how you feel. I wonder if he had told anyone that he feels sad because he's not invited into anything. I don't think you have to traumatize people
Like
into
that.
inclusion. And if you feel like you need to do that, then maybe you should change. You know, they say blood is thicker than water, but the full statement is the blood of a covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which means the blood of a friendship, people you choose, is actually thicker. So perhaps you might need to, you know, restructure your idea of family.
I actually read this story on another news platform, but they didn't mention he was a social media influencer.
Yeah,
so
150,000
because he
followers.
comes down from the helicopter with cameras. So I just feel like some of it is also ingenuine. I'm not so sure if the family had an issue or he was
chasing.
Yes, exactly. Now, in our next story, Ashwin, have you ever considered going back to high school?
No.
You don't want to. You don't want to.
And look, I wasn't like, you know, I was pretty cool in high school, and no, I'm not going back to high school. Why?
Well, a 28-year-old woman arrested after enrolling in school as a 17-year-old student. Police have spoken out following the arrest of a 28-year-old woman who allegedly faked being 17 to get into high school. Hanville High School in Boat, Los Angeles received reports of a woman above the age of 18 attending its 2022 to 2023 year, and so began internal investigations. A woman was accused of pretending to be a 17-year-old but actually being in her 20s. After the school's administration handed over its findings to authorities, police arrested a 28-year-old woman named Martha Yesenia Gutierrez Serrano, as well as her mother, 46-year-old Martha Elise Serrano Alvarado. Now, St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office took to Facebook to reveal details of the arrest. The post reads, through investigation, obtaining search warrants for the home of Gutierrez Serrano and Serrano Alvarado, detectives learned Gutierrez Serrano's mother, Serrano Alvarado, had enrolled her in school using a fraudulent passport and birth certificate. That the mother and daughter could face up to 5 years in prison on top of fines if found guilty.
Very, very interesting. As I was listening, something did jump out to me, which was their surnames.
Yeah.
And which made me feel that perhaps they're immigrants.
They are.
They are immigrants. And it's very common for immigrants, you know, who first had to work to survive, to want to track back to go to school. What's making me curious is, does America not have a system whereby someone that old can still study if someone feels like they have to jump through so many hoops in order to get an education?
That's also what was odd, because I know they have educational systems for older people.
Yes.
That's for high school, not
Yes.
college, but for high school. I think it's also night schools. They have them like at night, so you can work in the day and then go to, to school at night. So this is odd.
Yeah, because also, what do they really stand to benefit? I can understand the reason it will probably be highlighted would be, you know, Americans saying immigrants and our free education. We're used to that. Duh, you'd say that. But, you know, what harm is this person causing? If they're going to school, we weren't being told they're cheating in school, or that, you know, they were involved with any of the students.
But if I went back to school at 28, 29...
is there shame in that? Maybe
there's
let's
no
talk about
shame.
that. Yeah.
There's no shame in it, but I think the issue is the fraudulent activities around it. The fact
surrounding
that,
it.
Yeah, you can't be sitting with... I don't know what is up with that as well. You can't be sitting with 17-year-olds. I think that's the conversation.
I hear that. I just feel like there's worse places to break into than school. There's exams there. You know school, right? There's exams. It's a very stressful place. And if you're 28 in America, teenagers can be mean. I don't know if you've met teenagers. They can be very, very mean. So, I mean, of course...
But maybe she looks young. If she could pass for 17 and they believed her when she enrolled.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know why I immediately felt like empathizing with her. It's just like, because we care about education. I'm like, this person cares about education.
It's not the worst. It's not the worst. I mean,
right.
and also the mother was 46.
Yeah, the mother was 46.
And she's 28, so meaning...
she had her at a very young age.
Yes,
also,
so I'm sure it was a hard life.
Yeah. Well, all right. In Kenya, some really nice progressive news. President William Ruto hosts 109 YouTubers at the State House. Now, these creators were from around the world, marking a momentous occasion for the creative industry. The creators, including 11 from Kenya, were invited to the YouTube Black Voices closing ceremony delegation. The YouTube Black Voices Fund, now in its third year, was founded to amplify black perspectives and experiences and directly support creators, artists, songwriters, and producers so they can have resources to thrive on YouTube. Over these years, the YouTube Black Voices Fund has supported 378 creators globally. The opportunity to be hosted by Your Excellency is, for me, the highlight of this tour. These creators range from travel bloggers to educators to financial literacy advisors, said Alex Okosi, Managing Director of Emerging Markets at YouTube EMEA. I think, if something says progressive, it's this. You know what I mean? Because you can't ignore the fact that there are YouTube creators, there are people who make a living from this. And a lot of YouTube creators contribute immensely to their tourism industries, which is what saddens me about the case in Namibia. Why? Because YouTube creators cannot make money from their pages.
You're telling the story early in the morning.
Yes, no matter how many followers they have, no matter how many subscribers they have, the agreement just is not there between Namibia and YouTube. I've had some conversations that I remember speaking to the CEO of Namibia Media Holdings, and he thinks this could be something around Bank of Namibia also with regards to the clearance of such situations.
The funds,
yes, and one of the local tourism companies, I won't mention its name, one of the directors says they had to open an account in Germany in order to be able to monetize their YouTube. And I think monetizing YouTube for Namibian creatives is important because they can sustain themselves whilst selling the country, whilst telling the entire world what the land of the brave has to offer. And I really feel like the government has to get that done.
And we can also tap into that market of content creators because they're making like really decent money.
Look
now, with a high unemployment rate and a lot of people have phones. And I've seen a lot of Namibian content creators.
Yes.
And I feel like they need more.
They
need more.
Exactly.
I've only got
19 views on my video when I went to Luderitz the one time. Go look at it on YouTube, please. But no, seriously, and of course, kudos to President William Ruto of Kenya. This is very, very progressive. He's been in the news headlines for different stories. He's also in the headlines right now because he's been urging African nations to drop the US dollar when trading amongst each other, which is obviously unwelcomed by the United States of America. So that's another story.
I'm just like, per.
Yeah,
He's doing the things that must be done.
He's doing the things that are necessary.
I know it's going to irk some people, but kudos to him.
Good on you.
Well, getting to our last story, a live streamer dies after binge drinking Chinese firewater on camera. A social media star has died after binge drinking live on camera. The Straits Times report Zong Hyun Huang Ji was chucking back on a spirit known locally as Chinese firewater. The 27-year-old uploaded a video showing him drinking baijiu, which has an alcohol content ranging between 35% to 60%. Now, his wife has confirmed the tragic incident to local Chinese media outlets. She said her husband was desperately trying to earn money on a live streaming platform. Now, she has revealed she had tried to talk to Zong about he had debts. So she tried to talk to him about the debt, but however, he said he was focused on paying it back and wanted to live a good life. However, the woman has now been burdened with that debt, and she said she will work hard to pay it off. In a bizarre twist, Zong had recently attended the funeral of a friend who died in a very similar way.
Saddening.
Oof.
Saddening. And I'm worried about how many deaths and incidents stem from content creation.
Yes.
It happens quite a lot. And of course, this is a sad story because, when someone who's put in a position where they're supposed to provide for their family, there's crippling debt, the first thing available to you is what you're going to try and make use of.
Yes.
And he wanted to get those views. And I think sometimes the onus falls on us as viewers. We're part of the problem, right? Because you wouldn't think that's a solution if you didn't think that would appeal to people. People wouldn't want to watch
clickbait.
that.
Yeah, if I hear what somebody is drinking, however ounces of this Baiju, which is 35 to 60% of alcohol content. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah, I mean the 35%. Look, I mean a lot of people were at the whiskey festival. That's handleable. But once you started talking towards the come on, if you're talking towards 60%, that's a little serious.
Like if it's whiskey, just make it one drink for me, please.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair. Everybody should know their limitations. Limitations. Don't you dare chase by whiskey around the rocks. Yeah, no, but this is obviously a sad occurrence, and you know we certainly hope that more people don't fall into this pitfall of needing attention in order to sustain themselves. I understand needing to add value. There's a difference. Attention and adding value are very different. You know what I mean? Yes. There's a difference between someone seeing something responsible on TikTok or watching what I watch on TikTok, which is countdowns of the top 5 dogs of the day. So this is just, you know, this is me giving you some advice on how you can enjoy your TikTok experience. But swinging over to something very, very serious, Namibia Statistics Agency Chairman Salomo Hay says the national census, which is slated to be conducted this year, will help not only government but the private sector to plan adequately. We'll be checking out his words after this break.
Get real value for your money at WB. Grab 750-gram Ellis Brown Creamer for $41.99. Wake up to 250-gram Recoffee for just $39.99. Get 2-kilogram Real Good Mixed Chicken for $86.99. Stock up with 500-gram Bacomo Cornflakes for $32.99. And grab 1-liter Clover New Mel for just $17.99. Now that's real value at WB. We care.
Namibia 2023 census represents a crucial milestone in our nation's journey towards sustainable development and social progress. As we embark on this endeavor, it is essential to recognize the strategic implications and the far-reaching impact that accurate and comprehensive data will have on social economic development. The strategic implications of the census extend beyond government entities and policymakers. The data collected will provide a solid foundation for the businesses, organizations, researchers, and investors to make informed decisions that will contribute to the growth and prosperity of Namibia.
This is the 4th census. We have done the census 1991, whereby I think we have the population, we have done that, 2001, and then 2011 census. The next census should have been done in 2021, just like the chairperson said, but unfortunately, because it was the COVID era, that was postponed. And then we were supposed to do it again in 2022. And then we all understand that we also have competing resources. So some of the resources were used for COVID purposes. So when we come to 2022, there was also no sufficient funding, plus COVID was still ongoing for 2022 to some extent. So because of that, we also did not now do the census. But now we are here for the 2023. Like Chairperson said, now this is census year, it's not 2022.
Now, Smell the Coffee had a sit down with Dante Beekers, a chess player who's going to represent Namibia abroad in August. Let's take a look at that.
They say chess is not for the faint-hearted as it absorbs a person entirely. And today we're speaking all about chess, and I'm joined by Dante Beekers. Hi, Dante. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me. So please do tell our viewers of your full title, because that is something extraordinary.
So I'm an international chess master. That's the second highest title in chess, and it's the highest title that we have in Namibia currently. I'm the only international master in Namibia.
That is amazing. Okay, so tell us about how you got into chess and how long you've been playing.
So I learned how to play chess when I was 7 at my school's chess club. But I would say that I only really got into chess when I was around 9, because that's when I went to a chess academy and I started playing tournaments regularly. And that's really where my career started.
Okay, I see. You know, I've tried to play chess. I can't play chess to save my life. And, you know, as embarrassing as it is to admit on live TV, I do have to say, you know, I have the utmost respect for the fact that you started playing chess at just 7 years old. So what do you enjoy most about chess?
I mean, for me, of course, I enjoy competing. It's fun to travel and to play tournaments. But I appreciate the aesthetic aspects of chess. You know, there's a beauty that only chess players know about, right? Mm-hmm. It's like mathematicians. There's beauty to math that they know. We only see the surface. It's the same with chess.
So, is there a correlation to, you know, how you play chess and how you apply that in your everyday life? Because I'm sure there's some things that you pick up playing chess that, you know, you apply in your everyday life.
Yeah. People say there is this correlation. I'm not so convinced. I mean, I haven't seen, well, I don't really know life without chess. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's hard for me to compare. But I mean, I guess there are some skills that are useful in real life, right? Like critical thinking, I mean, planning ahead. Mm-hmm. There's a thing in chess called prophylactic thinking.
Okay.
And well, I mean, I guess the easiest example is like when you don't want to become sick, so you take some prophylactic medicine.
Aha, like before,
yeah.
I see. Oh,
so,
that's quite interesting.
There are some skills that can be applied, but I wouldn't say that it has made such a huge difference in my life.
All right, I see. Okay, so you're representing Namibia in July. Tell us about this championship taking place.
So I'll be playing in the Chess World Cup. So it's a very prestigious event. There'll be more than 50 countries represented. The world champion, well, I think he'll play. I'm actually not sure, but all the top players will be there, and it's a great opportunity for me. I'll also play some tournaments in Europe, like practice tournaments.
Okay.
Just to get
into the
in
rhythm,
good shape, and so that I can perform out at the World Cup in Baku, Azerbaijan.
Okay, that is very interesting. Is there anyone that you're particularly looking forward to playing at the tournament?
Well, I'm kind of seated lower on the knockout bracket, so I'm not going to be playing the guys that I want to be playing. Uh-huh. But it's a great opportunity, nevertheless, to play guys who are in the top 100 in the world. So I look forward to it.
So how do you feel about being chosen to participate and to represent your country? I can't imagine that I can only imagine that it's such a huge honor. Yeah,
no, definitely. It's a huge honor and it's a privilege. I mean, this is one of the biggest tournaments on the calendar. Mm-hmm. And this is the first time a Namibian will be participating. And
wow.
Actually, 2 years ago, I was a journalist for the tournament, and now I'm actually playing it.
Now you're playing. That is amazing.
It's quite cool, and I'm happy to be representing Namibia there.
Okay, so finally, how can we ensure we promote chess in our schools, especially?
Yeah, that's a interesting question. I think it's more for the for government and for the NCF body, but for me, I think that it's important to tell the stories of junior chess players. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, I'm still a junior player, and chess has given me so much, and so many opportunities. I mean, I have a chess scholarship in the US now, so there are so many opportunities, and it's about telling our stories. I think that this is important. Beside from the actual logistical things, yes. I think this is an important part.
I mean, because like you're saying, we don't really think that people could go this far with chess. I feel like, as much as I hate to say it, people, in a way, underestimate chess. They don't think you can really go far with chess. They think of it as more of a hobby. But the fact that you actually get to represent Namibia and now all of a sudden you have a scholarship, that is pretty amazing and shows that chess can take you so far.
Exactly.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, Dante, for telling me a little bit about your championships. And thank you so much for joining me today in studio.
No, thank you so much.
Stick around. We'll be back with more Smell the Coffee right after this break.
Thank you for staying with us on Smell the Coffee as we were breaking down the latest news stories all around the world. Well, the fun stories, at least interesting ones.
Yeah,
Not all of them
the
are fun.
eyebrow-raising ones.
That's the word.
Eyebrow-raising ones. But we also had like a good story. I like the Kenya story.
The Kenya one,
yeah.
truly inspirational one. You know, have a look at that one as well about William Ruto having 109 YouTubers at the State House. But from Glenora Shupura and Ashwin Mary, have a wonderful morning, and stay warm.